Hi, Jason Keaton here, and I received a question from a former student and a friend, and he's a blue belt, and he has a lot of great training partners that are purple belts, and he's wanting to know how can he close that gap on those guys. Okay, this is probably one of the biggest challenges in jiu-jitsu. I would say getting from blue to purple is probably one of the hardest things. To me, I think purple belt is like baby black belt. So if you can get to purple belt, I think you can get to black belt, okay? Because that is the really first elite belt. Okay, blue belt, if you get it, I mean, maybe you have a game, maybe you run some tournaments, maybe you put your time in. You know, in some schools you just do so many classes and next thing you know, you're a blue belt. So, you know, it doesn't really, I don't want to say it doesn't matter, it does mean a lot. It means you understand the basics of jiu-jitsu, but the purple belt is the first belt. So as a blue belt, trying to close those gaps on the purple belt is very difficult, just because they've spent a lot more time than you probably on the mat, right? Or they have done something to gain that skill. So what I would recommend to you and anybody that wants to kind of close that gap on those upper belts is a couple things. One, you're gonna have to put a little bit extra time in. There's no getting around that. Putting time on the mat is gonna yield good results, but it's not just getting out there and rolling. So I think that is a big problem, that people, yeah, I'm just gonna roll. Yeah, you're not gonna get as good as you could. You have to spend time developing certain moves. Now, here's what I would do, and this is what I did. I picked a couple moves. Let's say I picked 3 guard passes, and I'm gonna make them damn near invincible, okay? And that's what I would say to do. Pick the moves that you know are gonna work, high percentage moves. And how are you gonna find that out? Well, you're gonna have to train with these guys a lot and see what they're stopping you with and seeing what you're doing, all right? One thing you have to stop doing too is you have to quit trying to push through stuff. On purple belts, brown belts, and black belts especially, as those belts go up, harder to do. It's tough to force things, okay? You can't just, I'm gonna push hard and pass the guard. No, you have to do it properly, okay? And if you do it properly, it shouldn't feel like a super huge struggle, okay? It's finding out where that gap is in that other person's game. It can be harder. It sounds easy, but it's really hard, all right? But you're not gonna bash just by trying to bulldoze your way through their legs. It's just not gonna happen, all right? So you have to find, you know, the moves you need, the moves you wanna make invincible, and stop trying to force things. So that's why a purple belt, a brown belt, and a black belt all have that kind of calm demeanor. So if you're a blue belt or somebody that's rolled with a really good, you know, upper belt, then you know that they seem relaxed because they're not trying to force something. They're gonna let you walk into something, or they have a position on you that they have played so many times, they know the ins and outs of it. And that's what they have over top of you. So what you need to do is the same thing. You need to get that position where you know the ins and outs of it, and no matter what they do to counter, you're gonna have an answer for, all right? There's just no getting around spending time in the pocket, as I call it, all right? If you're working on guard passing, that's like I talked about in the drilling video, on the FAQ on how to drill, you have to get the grips, you have to drill from there. If you're on bottom and it's guard, you have to get the grips, you have to drill from there, and against better guys. So if you have a large number of upper belts, this is gonna be the best teacher. And you know, the reality is it's going to happen a lot where you get passed, you get swept, you get submitted. Hey, that's all normal, okay? They went through that too. They've already gone through that process. That's why they have the answers. The big mistake I think blue belts make is they don't get the answers to the questions. What does that mean? Well, when you're trying to pass the guard, think of jiu-jitsu as nonverbal communication, all right? If I'm trying to pass your guard, I'm asking you, can I pass your guard this way? And if you stop me, the answer is no. And if I succeed, the answer is yes. So why no? Why didn't that happen? Okay? What did they do to stop you? You have to be a student of your game, not just jiu-jitsu. You have to know the ins and outs of what you can do, not what somebody else does. Not watching all the online videos and saying, well, you know, hey, I see you know, Bruno Malfacini could do this, so I'm going to try it too. No, you have to find not somebody else's game. You have to find out what works for you. And that is what these upper belts have already done. All right? So, one thing, spend lots of time in the pocket. That means drill, drill, drill. You have to train a lot. The more time you drill, the less you're going to have to suffer through this. Okay? 2, become a student of your game. If you don't understand why you're getting stopped, you have to find an answer. And that's also a part of the drilling. So you can drill in the pocket, meaning live drilling from the exact position, but you also have to think critically. When I was a blue belt going to purple belt, I was on a mission. I was on a mission to find the answers to why I wasn't succeeding in certain spots. That means I took private lessons. That means I asked people and I would watch people roll. I would do scenario training with people and I would see how they dealt with the same problems I had. All right? So I would get some answers. I'd ask guys, I'd go to a seminar and I would do the whole seminar and I was only going to ask my question. How do you stop this? And the black belt would say, you do it this way. And I'd be like, all right. Okay? So it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort, but that's what it's going to take. All right? Find the answers, spend time in the pocket, and become a student of your jiu-jitsu. Okay? Not just jiu-jitsu, yours. I've been Jason Keaton. If you have a question and you'd like for me to answer it and you can tolerate my sweet voice, then please send it to me. Okay? You can send it to me via Facebook. You can send it to me on YouTube in the comments section. Or you can send it to my email, blindfurybjj@gmail.com. All right. I've been Jason Keaton, and I hope to see you on the mat. Have a good day.